Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ikea. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. You are definitely a real one and you already knew that. But today's video is all about fruity, juicy fragrances. It's so interesting because I always say that I'm not into fruity fragrances, but there's actually some fragrances in my collection that are fruity that I actually enjoy. And I think that they are perfect for this time of year. So I'm going to share about 10 to 12 of those fragrances with you all. So if that is something that you're interested in, then keep on watching. And before we get started, be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, of course. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And do not forget to click on that notification bell so you do not miss out on a single video. So this first fragrance is from Too Faced, and this is their Better Than Sex fragrance or perfume, and I think this smells so good. Now I'll be honest, it's not the most unique and groundbreaking fragrance, but it's a beautiful fruity floral fragrance. It opens up with peach. There's a little bit of bergamot in here. There's some rose and jasmine. There's orange blossom, a little bit of patchouli, vanilla, and musk. There's a ton of notes in this fragrance, but again, it's not super complex. I feel like this is a great fragrance for the masses. Now if you're like me and you like fruity fragrances that aren't super tart or even like a ton of citrus fragrances, I think that this one would be great for you. This is perfect for any time of year or even any time of day as well. You can wear this at nighttime. You can wear this during the day. Again, I really like this. I've received a ton of compliments on it as well. Now, the only thing I will say about this fragrance is that the longevity is pretty moderate. It's not a long lasting fragrance. It lasts about 5 to 6 hours before it kind of becomes a skin scent. So if that's something that like kind of bothers you, then I will just let you know that about this fragrance. But I absolutely love it. It smells so good. Yes, love this fragrance. So this next fragrance that I want to share is from the brand Imperia Fragrances, and this is actually one of my most recent additions to my collection. I actually received this as a gift from Imperia Fragrances, and I first want to say thank you so much to Imperia for sending this over. I had heard about this fragrance for a while on Instagram, and I really wanted to check their fragrances out. So I'm so happy that I got my hands on this scent. Now, this is actually from a Black-owned brand, and y'all know I love to highlight and share Black-owned brands on my channel. So this is no different. This fragrance is called Ocean, and it is actually inspired by the West African goddess. This fragrance is absolutely beautiful. It is a beautiful fruity fragrance that has exotic fruity notes. There's some plum in here. There's some vanilla and musk and white woods. There's also some magnolia in here, and this is really beautiful. It reminds me of a tropical vacation. It is just so gorgeous, and honestly, ever since I got it, I've just been spraying it because it just smells so good. So if you like fruity fragrances that aren't, again, super tart, but kind of give off a vacation vibe. I also forgot to mention that there's some coconut water in here too, so that's probably why it's giving me a vacation vibe. But this is really tropical, and that's why I like this one. Again, it's not like a strawberry or like a berry fragrance, but it's really tropical and it's absolutely beautiful. So I will link their information in the description box if you want to check their fragrances out. Now, for me, I would say that this one is also pretty moderate for the longevity. I've worn this probably 2 or 3 times now, and the longevity is pretty moderate. Now, I don't have an issue with longevity. You know, I just reapply, and I don't typically wear my fragrances or pay attention to the longevity of my fragrances after about 8 to 10 hours anyway. But in case you were interested, to me, this is about a moderate longevity, but it's absolutely beautiful. So if you're going on a tropical vacation or you just want to feel like you're at the beach, I would definitely recommend Ocean from Imperia Fragrances. All right, y'all. So this next fragrance is also a new addition to my collection, and ooh, I cannot get enough of this. This is from Carolina Herrera, and this is Very Good Girl Glam. I believe this launched like a few weeks ago in the US, but it has been out for a little while in Europe. But y'all, this smells so good. So if you're not checking me out or following me on Instagram, you definitely should be doing so, because I did a full thorough review on this fragrance. I also shared it on my TikTok and my Pinterest. So again, if you're not following me on any of those channels, then what you doing? But anyway, this is a beautiful sour cherry fragrance. It opens up with this gorgeous sour cherry note. There's some bitter almond in here. There's also some vanilla and some musk, a little bit of rose and lily in this fragrance. And honestly, this to me is my favorite of the Carolina Herrera fragrances. I did enjoy Very Good Girl, the original one. However, that one is more of like a tardy fragrance. This does have a sour cherry note in it, and in the opening you can definitely smell the sour cherry, but it's not like super tart and tangy. This is absolutely beautiful. The sour cherry note is so gorgeous. It meshes so well with the floral notes once it starts to dry down, and then when it's completely dry, it just becomes this beautiful, sweet, vanillic fragrance. There's also a little bit of vetiver in here, and I'll be honest, the vetiver isn't like super prominent. I enjoy vetiver. I know a ton of people don't really care for it, but it's not super prominent in here. I honestly can't really smell it. So if you're concerned about the vetiver, I would say that that is not an issue with this fragrance. But I love this so, so much. It is so beautiful. Again, I get about 6 hours of wear, and I'm finding that with most citrus and like kind of fruity scents, the longevity isn't that long lasting. It's pretty moderate for most of the fragrances that I have. But again, with this one, I get about 6 hours of wear, but I've received a ton of compliments on this one already. Now, a ton of people have been asking me how this compares to Lost Cherry, and I honestly don't think that they compare. Lost Cherry from Tom Ford is a more syrupy, sweet, boozy fragrance. This one is just a little bit more sour, a little bit even more creamier. It dries down to even be powdery, more like a confection sugar kind of powder. They're two different vibes to me. They're both sweet, but one is more boozy and another one, this one is just more sweet and sour. So again, they do not compare at all. Honestly, they both have cherry notes, but they don't compare. But I think that this fragrance is absolutely beautiful, and if you are interested in checking it out, I would definitely recommend so. So yeah, this is the brand new Very Good Girl Glam from Carolina Herrera. So this next fragrance is from Swiss Arabian, and this is Casablanca. I feel like I haven't shared this fragrance too often on my channel, and I don't really know why, because I really love this. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a fruity, sweet fragrance. Honestly, it smells like apple juice to me, or even like a wine. So in here there's apple, there's grape, there's a little bit of caramel in here, which makes it so sweet and delicious. But this is a really beautiful fragrance. Again, it just reminds me of like a sweet apple juice, but it smells so, so delicious. So if you like fruity fragrances that are even on the gourmand side, then I would definitely recommend Casablanca. I think I got this one from Amazon, but there are a ton of places where they sell Casablanca from Swiss Arabian, so I will link them down below if you're interested. But this was somewhat affordable as well. I think I got this for less than $50, if I believe, but it smells amazing, and it's one of my favorite gourmands. It's absolutely beautiful. And since we are on the conversation of gourmands, I just want to share my favorite gourmand with you all. And I don't know if this is exactly my favorite gourmand, but it's pretty high on the gourmand list. This is none other than Lira from Xerjoff. Y'all, I cannot get enough of this fragrance. It's absolutely beautiful. But the reason why I'm sharing it is because it is more of a fruity gourmand. It opens up with this beautiful blood orange note. There's some mandarin in here. Now, the notes don't mention lemon, but I smell some lemon in here as well. There's caramel, there's vanilla, there's musk. This reminds me of a lemon pound cake with a little bit of orange zest on top. That's what it gives me. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's addicting, okay? Every time I smell this, my mouth waters. It's so delicious. And I have heard a ton of people in the fragrance community talk about this being the best gourmand out there. And honestly, I would have to agree. This just smells absolutely amazing. Now, I know I had mentioned previously that a lot of my fruity fragrances are pretty moderate. Not this one, okay? This is long lasting, okay? 8 plus, 10 plus hours, and you can still smell Lira. It lingers. It has a nice sillage, and it just performs really nicely. I get a ton of compliments on this one as well. This one I get a ton of compliments on from men because it just smells so sweet and delicious, and I absolutely love Lira. But if you were looking for a fruity fragrance that's not, again, super tart, one that's just like kind of warm and comforting and just super, super sweet and delicious, I would definitely recommend Lira because it is everything, y'all. It is absolutely beautiful. So this next fragrance is also a new addition to my collection. I actually mentioned this one in my Sephora haul. So if you weren't able to check that out, I will link it for you to check out. But I ended up purchasing this one during the Sephora Spring Savings event, and I am so happy I got it. It smells so good. It opens up with this beautiful note of pear and fig, and then there is some lily in here. There's also a coconut note in here, as well as vanilla, amber, and musk. Now, I will be honest, this fragrance was very shocking to me. I did not expect to love this fragrance as much as I do. I don't know what I was expecting, but I just didn't expect to really enjoy this. Now, that opening though, like I mentioned before, with the pear and the fig is absolutely beautiful, but once it dries down, it actually becomes more musky and more of an amber fragrance, and you can kind of still smell the fruity notes, but they kind of play in the background once the fragrance dries down. So to me, the opening and the dry down are completely different. That pear you still kind of get during the life of the fragrance, but it's just not as prominent in the dry down. I actually prefer the dry down. It's just so musky and more of an amber scent. And I honestly don't gravitate towards a ton of musk, but this is absolutely beautiful. This is my first full bottle of an Ellis Brooklyn fragrance, and I'm definitely going to purchase more. I've tried out some of their other fragrances. I just haven't committed to a full-size bottle just yet, but I definitely think I'm going to do so because this one right here smells absolutely amazing. Now, this actually is a recent launch from them as well. I think this launched sometime this month or even last month, late March maybe, but it smells so, so good. So again, this one is called Sunfruit from Ellis Brooklyn. I feel like we can't talk about juicy, fruity fragrances without mentioning Bitter Peach from Tom Ford. One thing I love about Bitter Peach is that, yes, it is a fruity fragrance, but it's boozy. And I gravitate towards boozy fragrances. For some reason, they just make me feel so happy. So in here, there is peach. There's a little bit of cinnamon. There's some vanilla in here. There's cognac. There's rum. There's patchouli. Y'all, I love this fragrance so much. To me, this screams spring and summer. I cannot get enough of Bitter Peach. It's actually not super bitter to me, but it's absolutely beautiful. I love the booziness of this fragrance, and I just, again, cannot get enough of it. It's juicy. It makes my mouth water, and I love me some Bitter Peach. I actually love peaches too. It's my favorite fruit. So this just makes me happy whenever I smell it. And again, I can't get enough of Bitter Peach from Tom Ford. Now this next fragrance, y'all, I feel like I have a love-hate relationship with this fragrance. Sometimes I enjoy it, other times I don't, but this is Elle Imperatrice, y'all. Comment down below if I'm butchering that name because I really just have never known how to pronounce this. But this is from Dolce & Gabbana, and this is probably the fruitiest, tangiest fragrance I have in my collection. And I'll be honest, it's a love-hate. As of now, I love it, but for a very long time, I didn't pick this up because I just wasn't into like super fruity fragrances. But I picked this up recently and I really enjoy it again. It has this beautiful kiwi note in it. There's some watermelon. There's a little bit of rhubarb in here as well. Now, it doesn't mention grapefruit, but for some reason, this smells like a grapefruit fragrance to me. It smells like grapefruit and watermelon, and there's also some strawberry in here, but this is actually a really beautiful fragrance. It's also pretty moderate with the longevity. However, this is a good fragrance. I feel like this is a nice daytime fragrance. It's not super offensive either. You can probably get away with wearing it to like work or some other place where you don't want to be like super loud. It's not one of those fragrances, but it's really beautiful. So if you like fruity fragrances that are really kind of for all ages, it's not super immature or super mature, then I would definitely recommend this one. Again, it's a hit and miss for me sometimes, but right now I'm actually really enjoying it. Next we have Sparkling Hibiscus from Mix Bar. Y'all, this fragrance is so beautiful. There's hibiscus in here, there's some champagne, bergamot, and musk, and honestly, I can't get enough of it. It's so beautiful. This is actually one of my favorites from Mix Bar. I like the vanilla bourbon, and this one is probably right under vanilla bourbon. It just smells so good. You can definitely smell that champagne, which makes it very sparkling. This actually kind of reminds me of Eden Juicy Apple from Ikea Alexis, and y'all know I love that fragrance, but this actually reminds me of it. So if you kind of wanted like a more affordable version or a more affordable fragrance that's similar to that one, I would definitely recommend this one from Mix Bar. I always tell y'all, Mix Bar is such a great fragrance brand. They're really affordable. This is under $20 and it smells so good. It's also long lasting, and I can't get enough of it. It's also available at Target, so you can just go to your local Target and check it out if you're interested. But again, this one is Sparkling Hibiscus from Mix Bar. This next fragrance is none other than a Trap Rev from Louis Vuitton. This is a very popular fragrance, and I feel like it's popular for a good reason. It smells so beautiful. It's a beautiful feminine scent. It opens up with lychee. There's some bergamot in here. There's also peony and Turkish rose. Ooh, I love me some Turkish rose. And I love this fragrance. There's a little bergamot in here as well. I think this is absolutely beautiful. If you want something fruity, but you want it to have a nice floral touch, this one is definitely one that I would recommend checking out. Again, it's very feminine and it's very mature. It's also really sexy. You can get away with wearing this any time of day, and I just can't not get enough of a Trap Rev. It is so beautiful. It's very elegant, and again, I just enjoyed this fragrance. So again, this one is from Louis Vuitton, and this is a Trap Rev. And last, we have Burberry Her. Y'all, this is so beautiful. I also ended up purchasing this one during the Sephora Spring Savings event, and I am so happy I got this. I love this so much. It is a fresh, fruity fragrance, and it smells like a crisp pear. It's something about a pear note that I really enjoy, and this one is absolutely beautiful in this fragrance. So there's pear, there's some black currant, there's a little bit of strawberry in here, some rose, there is lily in here as well, and I really enjoyed this so much. Now, I have mentioned on my social media channels, like my Instagram, I have said that this is probably my favorite Burberry Her flanker. And honestly, I still stick by that. I love Burberry Her, the original. I also like the intense version. But this flanker right here is so beautiful, and to me it still kind of has the same DNA as Burberry Her, but again, it's more fresh, it's more crisp, it's a little bit more clean, and I absolutely enjoy this one as well. So I will mention though that this is an EDT, and I don't have a issue with like the performance of it, even though it is an EDT, but just in case you wanted to know, it is an EDT, but it smells absolutely beautiful. So again, this one is from Burberry Her, and this is the EDT version. All right, y'all, so those were the fruity fragrances that I have been enjoying as of recent. Comment down below and let me know what fragrances that you've been into, especially ones that are fruity. Y'all already know I'm nosy, and I'm just interested to know what you're interested in as well. But I thank y'all so much for watching this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed, of course. Also, do not forget to subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to check out my social media handles. My Instagram, my TikTok, and my Twitter will also be linked down below in the description box, along with all of the fragrances that I mentioned in this video. Again, I thank y'all so much. I hope y'all have a great one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.